Could be number one, you're just not the only one. You're just not the only one. What's the quickest a guy has like love bombed you?
Oh my God, my ex got my name tattooed on the second day.
No, that's psycho behavior. What do you mean?
Well, I mean, I got his name tattooed back.
Shanice, what? Would you be in a long distance relationship with him where you're not exclusive?
Sometimes I think, oh, I could be quite open-minded.
Yeah.
And then other times I look back at my past relationships and think, hell no. Absolutely not. I would have killed a bitch.
Yo guys, welcome back to another episode on my channel. I'm sitting in this spot, which means I've got a great conversation lined up for you today. You know, on this channel, we like to talk about all things dating and relationships and seeing what we can do to attract the kind of person we want. So without further ado, please welcome Shanice to the show.
Hello.
Welcome, Shanice. How you doing?
Hi, I'm great. Thanks for having me.
Right.
I got here a bit late, but you know, I got here.
That's okay. We move. We always like to, you know, give a bit of time just in case on either end. But you made it here safely. We appreciate you.
Thanks.
So I want to jump straight in. So first, tell us your age or your age range. Asking a lady her age.
Age range.
And one thing a guy should know about you if he wants to take you on a date.
Oh, okay. So my name's Shanice and I'm 31. I'm going to be 32 in June. So coming up very soon.
Okay.
So one thing a guy should know about me. Well, I'm unmarried.
She's on the market. She's on the market.
I'm unengaged.
Okay.
I've never been engaged.
Okay.
And I don't have any children. So there's no baggage.
So there's no baggage. That's a really good start. That's actually a really good start.
There's no baggage. And I'm very ambitious, very independent, and I've got a lot of love to give.
Oh, what? I mean, if you're leading with that, I'm sure most guys would be like, hey, come on, let me take you out. Like, you must get a lot of offers, no?
I do, but I seem to be still at this age attracting the wrong attention.
The wrong guys?
The wrong guys, yeah. Maybe it doesn't say a lot about me, but I do attract emotionally unavailable men.
Classic tale. Classic tale. We've been here before. Let's get into it.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the thing. You're an attractive woman, right? And you get a lot of attention. So there'll be guys who are really good that you are attracting, but you're just not choosing them. You're choosing a certain kind of guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like with me, I get that instant attraction. And if it's there, it's there. And if it's not there, I can't grow in it.
So when you say instant attraction, are you talking about chemistry?
Chemistry, it can be, I don't know, it's hard to explain because if I can find someone attractive and they're nothing like the other people that I've been with.
Okay.
But it's a thing, it's a feeling.
Okay.
Yeah, so they don't have to all look the same.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a chemistry feeling, yeah.
Okay.
And it draws me in. But if I do look at the kind of history, they all have similar traits.
What are those
all quite
traits?
similar.
Go on.
They all love bomb me.
This is a thing.
I'm here for it.
This is a thing. Like how quickly, what's the quickest a guy has like love bombed you?
Oh my God, my ex got my name tattooed on the second day. Yeah.
No, that's psycho behavior. What do you mean?
Well, I mean, I got his name tattooed back.
Shanice, what?
He took me there on our second
doing?
date, surprised me, and I just thought it was really romantic because I kind of thought if he loves me that much to do that, then why would I not do it back?
So I completely get that sentiment for sure. But if it was the second time you've met,
It was the third time we met, but second date.
Second date, okay.
Yeah.
Would you not think, how can this man love me when he doesn't know me?
Well, it wasn't until after that I thought that.
After his name was already tattooed on my back.
It wasn't until I was meeting his mum that I was thinking, oh God, this could go seriously wrong. I could absolutely hate his mum, hate his family, not like his home settings. I thought, I'm stuck. I did actually feel like I was stuck.
Yeah.
But I was really happy with him. But I did think, whoa, what have I done? What have I done? But I've got quite a lot of tattoos. So I just knew straight away that I could cover it. I actually said to him after we got them, I said, let's not say his name, but I basically said, oh, my sister's name is short. She can be shortened for that, so I can just put her name on the end.
Okay, yeah, because I have to ask, where did you put his name?
On my hip. Yeah.
Okay. There's worse places.
I've covered it now.
there's worse places.
Oh my God, no, I would never do that.
I was gonna say, like, if it's on your back, that's there forever.
Yeah.
That is there forever.
Yeah, I'm not that cray.
Interesting. And so was it the fact that he wanted to do that so quickly with you that made you go, I want to do that too?
Yeah, I thought it was really romantic.
No, I get that.
I thought it was really romantic. And he said, I'm getting your name because that's it. We're going to be together forever.
Yeah.
So for me, I'd been single for 5 months. Before that, I was with someone for 2 years who I really I wanted that to be it, but it just wasn't. So maybe I was looking for that love so desperately in this person because I thought I couldn't believe that I actually liked someone else.
Yeah.
Put it that way.
Yeah.
So it was just, I was accepting all the love bombing, I ignored all the red flags. Like for me, it was just like, I kind of was being naive.
Yeah. No, I get that. So yeah, you felt that you were just a little bit naive in that sense.
Yeah.
How common do you think it is for, I think women especially, to fall for a guy because of what he says to her, as opposed to maybe even how he's initially treating her? Because if he's like, especially if you feel that, oh, I've been looking for this kind of reciprocal love and someone to, give me that love, and then some guy comes along and he's, love bombing very quickly.
Yeah.
Is it fair to we can almost fall in love with the idea of it?
Yeah.
The idea of being in love as opposed to actually loving the person. Is that fair to say?
I think it's really common now. Yeah, really common now. I think because of dating apps and, kind of people doing fast dating, so to say, I think people are getting very wrapped up with the short-term happiness and love and getting overexcited when you're being promised a holiday or this or that. Yeah. And then they don't fall through with what they're actually saying. And that's where ghosting becomes so rife these days, because people are like, oh, he ghosted me again, but he said, we're doing this, we're doing that, but didn't show the person what they were actually doing. And that's something I will say that I have definitely learned the hard way. I have kind of listened before, watched what they were doing. Yeah. And it's definitely learned the hard way.
Always look at a guy's actions, not what he says. For
100%.
For sure.
And I do think like men, they don't stick to their word these days as they used to.
Go on.
A guy's word doesn't really stand for much anymore. When I was dating when I was younger, if a man said something, they stuck to it. Whereas I feel like dating these days, it's like, yeah, I'll just let you down, or, I'll just move on to the next person, or, oh, it doesn't matter that, I went through that very intense, tragic time in your life. Like I became a part of your family, this, that, and the other. It's just very cutthroat these days.
So I don't disagree with you, but let me ask you a question. Yeah. So how you said the guys that you dated before were very much, if they said they were going to be there, they would be there. If they said they're going to do this, they do this. Like, how old were you at the time? I'm
literally talking between the ages of 18 to 23, which was like 10 years ago. Okay. So would you say that the same kind of men you're choosing now are the same kind of men that you were dating then? No, but I look very different now. So is it fair to say then that it's not that those guys aren't out there, but you're just choosing very different men today? Potentially. Yeah, there is definitely... that is a factor, yeah. I mean, I did date some toads back then, but but they were the best guys though. My ex-boyfriends, they were like, when I was younger, they really looked after me. I was the one with commitment issues, and I was the emotionally unavailable one back then. I was the one that jumped out because I wanted to live life, travel. I could have been married and had kids years ago. Yeah. Would you date any of those guys now? No, because I don't really have any hair left. But you said that they treated you so well. Yeah, I know, but no. No? How important are looks for you? Fundamentally, looks are, it sounds awful, but I would have to say probably number one. So I'm going to be honest with you. I would have to say number one. Okay, I get that. So I'm going to be honest with you. That's why you haven't found it yet. I know. But what it is like the personality and how someone treats you is number two. I think they go hand in hand. If I'm not attracted to someone, I can't ever get to that stage of like liking someone to invest the time to get to know. I have done this before. I have dated people.
Mm-hmm.
There's been no sexual, nothing. I've tried to give them the time and energy, and it's gone on for like months. I just can't get there.
Have you never met someone where initially, not that you weren't attracted to them at all, but you met them initially like, oh, they're kind of attractive, but you know, you weren't that fussed. And then you got to know who they were and you found out they were a great person and then your attraction for them grew. Has that never happened for you?
Okay. Oh my God. Like, don't get me wrong. I know I'm not like the most amazing girl. And trust me, some of my exes aren't either. But, you know, they all look different in their own way. For me, it's just a something that I can't explain. It's just a something that just hits. I have done that. And I've given the guy who is not my stereotypical type a chance. And still been played. So, you know.
But when you say not your type, you were still, like, you still were attracted to him on a physical level to some degree, no?
Yes, but there's elements there that I wouldn't, you know, on paper, like I wouldn't go for. Like I, you know, maybe the dress sense, maybe like, I think there's certain things that I think you've got to gel with, you know, like, so that you can socialize together and you can have fun together and you have the same, well, similar interests.
I think similar interest is important to some degree. I do think that. But like, dress sense, I get. He may not dress the best thing, but that's not a reason to disqualify a guy.
No, it's not.
If you're looking for something real.
It's not.
If you're looking for something just chilled, someone you can have experiences and have fun with and go out with, 100%. But you're not going to find something real when you prioritize that.
No, I'm not prioritizing that. I'm just saying I have let go of so many different things in certain people and still the compatibility's not been there.
So when you say compatibility in what's, give me what you look for in a guy.
Okay, so I like someone who is got a good heart. Like mainly they've got to have a good heart. Like they can't be shallow, even though I'm saying all this.
Looks are number one, but they can't be shallow.
They can't be shallow. No, because I do have a good heart, and you know, when it comes to general life, I've got a good heart. I'm a good person. I'm good to people, but I do find it, a bit difficult to just like someone on like a sexual level. That's what I find difficult.
Have you found it? Sorry to cut you off. Have you found it more difficult as you've gotten older?
Yeah, it's definitely more difficult as I've got older because I'm more happy on my own. I'm more independent, and where I've become more and more successful, I do not need a man. And that's what kind of bugs me. I think back to when I was like 19, 20, 21, I had nothing. I had no money. I literally was working a few jobs. I used to wear all sorts of clothes, you know, handy downs for my sisters. Like I literally didn't have really anything. And now I have more. I don't attract decent men. I attract the guys who just want to take from me.
I hear you. Okay. I'm going to be very honest. Would you say that you're physically more attractive today than you were 10 years ago?
Yes.
Okay. Would you say that the guys that you dated, let's say in the past few years, or like 4 or 5 years, right? Would you say generally they have been more attractive than the guys you dated 10 years ago? Well, we already know that because you said the guys 10 years ago were like a toad, right?
Yeah, no. Yes. But the guy that I was with for 2 years, my longest and quite, you know, strong, not strongest, but, you know, relationship, that he's just like your normal guy, goes fishing, goes to the pub, like just a normal guy, like, and there was attributes about him that I didn't like, but I was like, I love you. Like, you make me laugh so much that you are everything that I want. And even though that was a bad relationship, I still would be in it now if it really, you know, if we both were quite wanted it to work. But it just didn't. And I think you can look past certain things, but ultimately we weren't compatible because we were looking past things,
that's,
you know.
fair. So here's what I think's happened with you, and why I think
all right,
a big part as to why I think maybe you're struggling right now. I think that as you have grown in yourself as a woman and
Yeah.
you've leveled yourself up, not just in your own confidence, but in your appearance as well, you look after yourself, etc. You've then become the kind of woman who can attract really attractive guys. And you've probably dated guys who are very attractive, who are very confident, very charismatic, right? And with that, you then found like, oh, I can meet someone and there's this insane chemistry because I think he's attractive. He's super attracted to me. Like, you know, we like in terms of, like you said, aesthetically, it's gorgeous and stuff. We like going out, all of this stuff, right?
Yeah.
Now with that, I think you've been, the chemistry side of you, the lustful side of you has been so used to very attractive guys that now with a guy who actually may be a good guy, if he isn't that level, you don't feel that chemistry straight away. And you go, well, I don't have that initial feeling, so I'm not going to give this a chance.
You might be right.
Now, here's the issue, right? I get it because it's like, oh, I want to know what this spark is. Like, I want to have that spark. And I got this was from an episode I watched with Chris Williamson and I think Logan Ury, she was the CEO of Hinge. And she says that some people are just very sparky. As in there's some, like, if you're a guy, if you're attractive, if you're very confident and very charismatic and you can make people laugh, you're going to have sparks with this girl, this girl, this girl, this girl. And I think what can happen is a girl can have sparks with a guy and she goes, well, this is unique for us.
Yeah.
So that means there's something here. And it's some people are just very good at creating that chemistry very quickly.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that they're going to be a good partner. And that's what you've been finding.
You've just hit the nail on the head. I can have that chemistry and sparks with quite a few different kind of people, but it doesn't last or it doesn't turn into anything. Or, you know, I feel that kind of, oh my God, you know, I get a little bit obsessive, like this could be amazing.
Yeah.
And actually then it's like, actually we're not. It just
but this is 100%. But this is where it comes down to, how are you choosing which guys you give an opportunity to?
Well, obviously I have been choosing based on looks. Yeah.
That's why we're here, Shanice.
Yeah.
That's why you're here. And the thing is, like, and the reason I asked, it's really important to acknowledge, like, the reason I asked, oh, have you met a guy where you weren't super attracted at first, but then he had a great personality and that grew an attraction, is because that is, for most, that is the foundation of a really healthy relationship.
I know.
Because most of the time, like, there are so many amazing relationships out there where the woman is with a guy that she's like, if I saw on a dating app, I would have swiped left.
Yeah.
But because maybe she met him at work, or, you know, she was in an environment where she could get to know him, and then that grew attraction to him because he was a great person. If all the attraction is purely from the physical, you're going to continue getting the same result. Do you know what I mean?
No, I know. This year, my dating life has just not been existent. Like, I've really, you know.
You've been taking a break.
Well, I just haven't had the time. Like, it's been work. I download the dating apps, delete the dating apps, download them, delete them. I've got sick of remaking them to the point that I've just left it on one phone and then on the other I don't have them.
Yeah.
But the problem that, yes, with that, I do just go on looks. And if I think, okay, yeah, you know, you're attractive, I'll then put some energy into it. And I have gone for some people that I think you could be a grower. You look like a nice person, you've got a good career, you know, you live local, whatever. But then they've ended up being really strange and weird, like, and I've been like, okay, like, you're literally like stalking me right now, like, you know. So I've given up on all that. And when I go out, that's my time. That's my time to socialize with my friends. I don't want to be out on the prowl looking for a man, you know. And if someone comes up to me on a night out and I find them attractive, they find me attractive, well, that is just a bonus, you know. That's
how often does that happen for you?
Every time. Not joking.
Probably. Where are you like going out to like bars and clubs and stuff?
That sounded awful.
No, but that's real. Like, let's be real.
Yeah, but my friends as well, you know.
Sure.
I just think, you know, if you're out, there's always going to be someone you find attractive, you know, and everyone's out to kind of have a laugh and chat, but it's just not always that you would meet someone that you would be like, oh, I'd love to see you again.
So I have a question for you. Like, when you go out with your girls, are you mainly going out to like bars and clubs?
Don't do clubs anymore, not really, unless it's like an event and they hold it at I like to go to, bars or specific events. Yeah, not really clubs. I'm totally outgrown that. Yeah.
Sure, I hear that. So let's assume, like, would you like to get married one day?
Yes, I would
Yeah.
like to get married.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's assume that the kind of guy, the kind of husband you're looking for,
Yeah.
is a guy who is purpose-driven,
Yeah.
is a guy who's self-disciplined and lives a healthy lifestyle, right? And he sees that time is used to invest in returns. So, you know, he'll spend time with his friends, he'll meet with business colleagues, etc.
Yeah.
Right? He's not out here like getting drunk every night or something. Do you think that kind of man spends his free time in bars and clubs?
Absolutely not. And that's why I'm A, still single, and B, have been attracting the wrong ones when I've met them out. So, and we've been on a couple of dates, I've realised actually you're not really.
Yeah.
You
And there's
know.
nothing wrong with meeting people out. That's the best way in real life. But it's what environment you're choosing
Yeah.
to socialize in. So like great places to meet those kind of guys would be like members clubs.
The golf club.
Would be like the golf club. The yacht club.
Get a part-time
Right?
job as a waitress.
Honestly, but it happens. It happens though, because the thing is
Yeah.
like guys, especially if a guy is, if he's successful within his field,
Yeah.
he doesn't care if you're successful, if you work at McDonald's, because he's going to
Yeah.
be choosing you for different reasons. Do you
Exactly.
know what I mean? Let me throw the table to you. What's something you want to ask today? Because you've got some stuff that you want to talk about.
Yes. Can I have a look?
Yeah, go for it. Have a
Sorry.
look. Have a look. This is not a memory
I
test.
keep looking at you, sorry. So it's like,
It's like, who's you look at? Who am I talking to?
okay. There's quite a few.
Go for
it. So one thing that does kind of like baffle me, and like you might have covered this before, why do men that seem to like have they like you at some point in your life and you know that they like you or whatever, they then go on to, you know, end up in a serious relationship, get married, have kids, whatever, they then pop back up on social media and they start liking your photos or reacting to your stories, but then also boasting about how amazing their life is, and you know, I've got this house and oh my baby and we're so happy in our holidays. And I think like, why, like, are you trying to like be like, look at me, I'm so happy? But if you're really so happy, you wouldn't be doing that.
I agree. If someone's intentionally trying to show that. So is the question, why is he trying to show you that he's happy?
Why has he come back followed like me, or other girls have said this as well about people from their past? Yeah, why would you do that?
So when they say people from their past, do they mean guys they've been with or guys who have just liked them that they've never been
I
with?
think guys that they've been with, or maybe potentially they dated, you know.
Sure. It's just, you know, they say success is the best revenge.
Right.
And so it could be like they're trying to show that they've been successful in their relationship life. Do you know what I mean? Like if
trying to rub it in.
Yeah. Like people do that though, right? They're kind of like, you know, especially if she ended it and now he's got a wife, he's got a kid, he's got a house, like life is good, at least on that front for him. He's like, hey, this is what you missed out on.
Right. So it's
And you're still single and you don't have this and I have this.
showing off.
So it's kind of like, it's like, and it doesn't come from a good place, but a lot of the time,
Right.
it can be that.
Okay.
But yeah, I think, and success is the best revenge. I do say that, but you shouldn't like be gloating about it to someone, because then all you do by trying to push it in someone's face, like intentionally, all you're showing is that what they think of you still matters to you and you've lost.
That's what I think.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's what I think.
What you want to do is you want to be on your journey, become successful in whatever, and you want to almost even forget about them. So then they go, holy shit, like when did this happen?
Well, I think, oh, you're still thinking about me, hey?
Does that make you respect him more or less?
Less.
Exactly.
I think,
Guys, what are you doing?
I think, well, at least I'm not the wife. That's what I think.
That's true. You're like, if anything, if anything, he's proving why it was good you didn't choose him.
Yeah. Well, it didn't work. Thank you.
The irony. Let me ask you something. So
Okay.
this is a question from Instagram. So somebody asked, they want to ask you,
Oh,
is
God.
it money and comfortability over love nowadays for you?
Money. For me, it's love, but that's because I've got my own money and comfortability.
Okay. No, I think he's saying like, are you preferring to have like your money and being comfortable over like choosing love that may have its difficulties and challenges?
So I would love to have love, But I've tried love with someone who had nothing, and it was just really, really hard work. So I am comfortable in where I'm at with money and everything.
When you say it was difficult, was it difficult because he had nothing?
He had no money, didn't contribute. And although I had the love with him, there were so many other issues. I was like, well, we can't just go away like normal couples or do things on the weekends like normal couples as much.
Yep.
Everything was a struggle, and it was all falling on me. If I wanted to do something, I had to pay for it. If I wanted to do something with him, I had to pay for it.
Well, now you know how it feels to be a man.
Yeah, I know.
Welcome.
I know.
You want equality, right? Welcome.
But the last few years of my life, I do feel like I am attracting those kind of men, where I'm the one having to pay because I want to do it and they don't have it. And I'm like, I'm not doing that no more. So I've stepped right back, and I'm like, unless it's an equal playground or they're the man, take control, which I find very attractive, then I'm not interested.
Why do you think you've been attracting those kind of men?
Because I'm a bit of a control freak, and
Very honest.
I'm quite generous. So I'm just like, I will offer it, and they'll take it, basically. So I mean, if someone offers something, you're going to take it, aren't you? Sometimes.
That's
not
true.
always. But
But why do you think it's those? Because why do you think it's those men that you're attracting? Because you could offer it, and it could be the kind of guy that you say that you want, right? And he might say yes, and then I'm going to do this for you, or he might say no, it's all right, I'll do this for us, babe. Do you know what I mean? So why do you think it's those guys that have been receiving that offer and generosity from you?
I'm not really sure. It's hard to answer that question because I think I've had that chemistry and I've held on to it, and I've been like, okay, well, let's go away this weekend. Oh no, I haven't got the money at the moment. I'll pay. I want to go. And then I'll be like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I guess they're like, okay, why not?
And that's how you can stay in something that's not right, and something that's wrong, because you just think of the chemistry and whatever. So money isn't a big thing for me, but they've got to be able to hold their own,
You're saying they have to be able to hold their own for the lifestyle that you're leading for yourself right now?
No, not necessarily. They've got to be able to, afford their own bills.
Their own household bills?
Not necessarily have their own house, but they've got to be able to stand on their own 2 feet, pay for their own car, pay for their own general bills, their phone, be able to afford to go out for a meal a couple of times a month. Look after themselves. Yeah.
Do you feel like you, because obviously, you've built a business for yourself, become successful in that sense. Do you lead with that? Like, do you lead with that when you're out or when you're with guys in terms of, this is what I've got going on, this is what I'm doing, and I know you said, it's great to have this awareness that you can be quite hands-on, controlling a bit of the times, and I get it, when you have a business, like, you have to be. Not controlling the guy, but like, you like to, how to handle a situation. And if you feel the best way, you'll be like, well, I'll just do it because I know the best way, right? Yeah. So do you feel like you lead with that with guys at times?
Yeah, but I think at the beginning of dating, it's very attractive to men how I am. But that's at the beginning. I've got my own house, I've got my own car, I've got my own business. Like, I have been independent since the age of 18, and that is really attractive to men at the beginning. And then as we get into it, they start feeling a little bit emasculated and find me quite intimidating. And, then the digs come and the comments and the sly remarks, casually putting me down, and little things like, oh, wow, because I've got a studio in the garden. That's where I've got, and it's massive, it's not just like a little shed. It's a proper studio. Yeah. And I would get the odd comment of, oh wow, if I worked at home all day. It's like, I'm not working. I'm working. I'm not at home all day.
Yeah. And these are guys who aren't, would you say, who just aren't on your level that you're getting these comments from, or guys who are on your level and above?
I did have it from someone who was on my level. Yeah. So I'm just thinking about.
So I would say,
be careful what I say.
I think so. Don't get me wrong. It's great that, you know, you've been independent. Of course, you said you had to be, you know, because just kind of your family dynamic and stuff. And you've built this for yourself, which is amazing. But if that part of you, if that part of Shanice is what is attractive to men, that side of you, the independence, the go-getter, all of that stuff, that's the very masculine side.
Yeah.
Right?
I know.
And the masculine attracts the feminine. And the feminine attracts the masculine. So if you're saying, well, guys are attracted to this masculine side of me, that means the guys that are attracted to that side are the guys who are more in their feminine. Which is why they're looking at you to lead. They're looking at you to sort things out. They're looking to submit to your leadership.
No, you're right.
And you're like, that's not what I want.
Yeah, it's not.
Do you know what I mean?
I want a proper old school masculine man, holds the fort, kind of puts me in my place a bit, you know? Yeah, I've always been in charge of my own bills. I've never had a man pay for me. Like, they pay for holidays, you know, the odd thing here and there.
Yeah.
But I've always done my own bills. And that's what I'd always want. Do you know what I mean? Unless we teamed up. But I would like someone who I don't have to worry about them and how they're handling their life, their financial circumstances, where they're going, their ambition. And I think the misconception with a couple of my relationships is I'm not trying to push you to break you. I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to help you be a better person, you know?
I get that. But I think what can happen unconsciously is part of the reason you're trying to push them is because you want them to become the kind of man that you want to choose in that area of their life. And that's what they feel. Because ultimately, what it actually, and while I get for you, you're like, I'm trying to push you because you might be like, I see the potential you have, so I'm trying to push you to reach that. What he hears is, I don't accept you.
Yeah, I'm not enough.
I'm not enough.
No, I agree.
And it's not okay, but that's when the comments come, being like, oh, you think I'm not enough? Well, you fucking work at home all day.
Yeah, I know.
How's that enough? Like, you fucking do this, you do that. Does that make sense?
And definitely. And I would say that one of my relationships, that was 100% exactly that.
Yeah.
But then the other one, I was actually pushing him in the love aspect, you know, to be a better partner, to commit more, you know, the marriage, things like that. So one, I was pushing career, one, I was pushing love, and you know, you can't get everything.
I get that. So here's how I would ask, how were you doing it? Because were you kind of telling him what he can do to grow, or were you like supporting him?
Supporting.
Okay.
I was supporting.
Fair enough.
Always support. I never tell people what to do, but I'm just like, you know, we could do this, we could do that. Like, you know, I can help you with this, X, Y, Z, you know. And I think sometimes people do need that positive voice to help them along.
We all need support.
You know,
yeah, of course.
But you just got to do it yourself.
Yeah, I mean, you can't change someone.
No.
They're not going to change for you.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I think the kind of masculine, successful, ambitious guy that maybe you're looking for, he's not looking at you and being like, oh, the fact that she's independent, has her own business, she's successful, that's attractive. Like, that's not what he's looking at you. And he's going like, that's attractive. He's going to be like, okay, first, does he find you attractive? Cool, tick. What's her demeanor like? Is she nice and pleasant to be around?
Yeah.
If, does she allow me to take leadership? Because, I hear from a lot of women, especially if they're quite successful and they're independent, they're like, I want a guy to come in and take leadership, but they don't provide the space for him to do that.
Yeah, no, I agree.
And part of providing the space, especially in the early days, is like, okay, let's say a guy is, let's say he's like, okay, we're gonna go in the London Eye, tonight, right? Like, I booked us to go in the London Eye, and he's like, I'm gonna pick you up. Let's say I'd love that. Yeah, 100%, right? Let's say he's picked you up and he's driving and stuff, and you feel there's a faster way to get there. Okay. Right? And at the moment, the way he's going, you feel like it's not the best way. You feel like you know the faster way. How would you handle that situation?
Tell him the faster way.
Wrong, Shanice. Oh, no. Wrong.
Babe.
So here's the thing. You offer it as a suggestion.
Okay.
But you don't tell him.
Yeah. Okay.
Because whenever we tell someone to do something, that means we're trying to come from a place of authority.
Right.
And if you're with a strong masculine man, even if you're right, he's going to reject that.
Definitely.
Does that make sense?
I know where I'm going wrong, but I'm
We're going to practice right now.
okay.
We're driving the car, going to London Eye, and you find a better way. Go.
Babe, I've just seen like a better route to get there. Would you like want to have a look?
Yeah, sure. I'll have a look.
Is that better?
Golden. That was a suggestion.
Okay. I'll just take a minute every time I'm going to talk, and then hopefully the delivery is better.
It's funny because I think a lot of the time guys are like, guys, we have to learn very quickly when we start dating women and stuff, like how we say something is sometimes more important than what the actual message is for a lot of women. And while a lot of time guys speak very directly, when it comes to the woman that he cares about, when it comes to the woman that he wants to take care of, the woman that he wants to provide for, the woman he wants to feel safe, when it comes to her, he's way more sensitive.
Right.
So how you say it becomes more important.
Okay.
Because especially for a masculine man, respect is love to him.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you come from a place of trying to tell him, it's like what you're saying to him is, I don't trust you to lead us.
Yeah.
Whereas when you go, hey, I wanted to offer this as a suggestion, why don't you have a look? That looks like you're being a teammate, not that you're trying to take the reins.
I'm having a lot of realization now.
It's all right.
Like
That's what
things are actually just coming back in my head thinking, oh.
Anything specific that comes back that you're like, oh my gosh, that was when I,
Yeah, just not trusting my exes. Not in terms of cheating.
Yeah.
In their decisions. And just one thing came into my mind with someone who I was with, like when I was 21, like for a while.
Yeah.
He started trimming the garden, and I didn't trust him. I didn't think he was capable.
Of cutting the grass?
Yes.
You were like, I can't trust you to do this?
No, I was watching him and I was on tenterhooks like, he can't do that right. Like he's not. And I was like, just stop. And he was like,
you like being in control, don't you?
And I was like, it was just so klutzy all the time. And I just thought, oh my God, he's going to cut himself or he's going to break the strimmer. Yeah, that has just come back into my mind. I thought,
so here's the thing, right? With the kind of guy that you say that you want, if that is the energy that he's met with, he's going to be like, this girl's just not for me.
Yeah.
And he might indulge with you sexually. He might be like, because I'm really attracted to her. But in terms of, because our husband is looking for a wife, right?
Yeah.
So in terms of the long term, he might, okay, cool. She's great for short term, but kind of long term, she's not really the energy and vibe that I'm looking for.
They couldn't cope with it long term, yeah.
Well, guys, especially that kind of man, he's looking for a woman to support him and trust in him.
Yeah.
Because it's like, like by default, like if a guy chooses you, it's like, okay, if I'm with you, it's like by me choosing you, you are the woman that I choose to care for, to make feel safe and to provide for if that's what I want to be for you.
Yeah.
And so by you choosing a man, by default, you're going, okay, if I'm choosing you, by default, that means I trust you to lead us. No, and if you choose a guy where you don't trust him, that's where there's going to be conflict. Unless if he's a man more in his feminine, he'll accept that.
Yeah, so this is another thing I will say, and it's not just me, my friends that are very strong, independent, we're quite similar, have exactly the same issue. Like we call bullshit when we see it, like very early on. Like if we
I don't think that's a bad thing.
Yeah, I don't, but it just, straight away, if I see something that I think's fishy, doesn't add up, strange behaviour, and these are from the masculine men, the very masculine men. They cut you off straight away.
Can you give me an example?
So you're dating someone, for instance, you might not be intimate yet because you're not official, anything like that. It's not, you haven't had the chat, but you have said that you're exclusive, but not exclusive. You're not girlfriend, boyfriend, but you're not dating anyone else. Sure. Anyway, they go off the radar for the night, and then they come up with some random excuse and they're nowhere to be seen. Well, obviously, like something's gone down, and actually you then find out later down the line they've been on a date with someone else, or they've been sleeping with someone, or
If you're loving this episode and these kinds of conversations, then I want to give you something. We recently launched the Kits Angels community. This is a sisterhood for women who are tired of what the dating scene has given them and are ready to take their love lives to the next level. It's a space for you as a woman to not be alone in your journey to love, where we learn, talk, and share our experiences as part of a strong sisterhood, with some leadership and guidance from yours truly, of course. Not to mention never before seen videos from me on how I've led dozens of women to meeting great men. And so as a thank you for watching this episode, I'm giving you a month's membership completely complimentary on me. Just click the Kits Angels link below, and when you join the group, message me the code phrase Angels Podcast and I will pay for your membership. Now back to the episode. So, okay, so is this before you've established you're exclusive? So you've been dating, but you're not exclusive.
Yeah, you're not. Well, you've had the chat of we're not seeing anyone else. Yeah.
What? Okay, because the wording is very important.
Yeah.
It's different if a guy says I'm not seeing anyone else, and if a guy says I'm not open to seeing anyone else.
No, not seeing anyone else. Yeah, okay. You have that.
That all that means is that he's not seeing anyone else in that moment. That doesn't mean he's not open to it. Okay. And this is why the wording is really important.
Yeah.
Because if it's like, if you go, oh, like, did you eat pizza? I'm like, I didn't eat pizza today. Maybe I ate yesterday.
Yeah. Do
you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's very different if you go, yeah, I'm not seeing anyone else. Or if he goes, I'm not open to seeing anyone else. Because if he's not said that, then him going on a date with someone else, he's not doing anything wrong because you guys aren't in a relationship. You're not exclusive, right? So it depends. Like it
depends on how it's said.
It's specific.
Although I do find it hard to take a man's word until we are proper official.
I get that. I think trust has to be built. Trust has to be built.
It does have to be built.
But I don't think it's healthy to start from a place of distrust if he's not giving you any reason.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Oh, of course.
And I think sometimes, and guys are guilty of this as well, sometimes because of our experiences, we can go, okay, I'm going to start from a level of distrust until you prove to me that you're someone who can be trusted.
Yeah.
Where really, there's a basic level everyone should start off, and then depending what they do can bring them down or bring them up.
So men start with distrusting?
Well, no, some men can start with distrusting because some men have been played by, women, be like, women just take them out for... Like guys will take him out for their time and attention and money, and women have no interest in them romantically, but the woman's enjoying his attention and stuff like that. That happens all the time. That's like the equivalent of like, a guy just sleeping with a girl when he knows that she wants a relationship.
Yeah. What, like a one night stand or?
One night stand or like a friends with benefits, like a situationship. Do you know what I mean? Where, he's sleeping with her and he doesn't really see anything serious with her.
But stringing her along.
Yeah, essentially. But men and women, we do it to each other, just in different ways. But, we have to recognize the signs. What's something else you want to say?
Can I get another water? Sorry.
Yeah,
Is that all right?
Yeah, of course.
I did just ruin something, did I?
No, you're good. Okay. You're good. We'll get another one. What's something else you wanted to talk
there's
about?
Loads on here. Do you want me to tell you them?
Yeah. Let's go to the next one.
There's loads.
Well, why don't you choose one? Choose one that you think is very deep, high stakes.
Some what people have wrote. Some. Okay, so...
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Okay, so this is what a guy actually did to me.
Okay.
Shall I say?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. So someone that I had a thing with years ago, I bumped into at a party. I had a boyfriend at the time, and he said to me, I couldn't stop thinking about you. I can't stop thinking about you, whatever. He had a partner as well. Anyway, fast forward, I split up with my partner, and he ended up contacting me and was like, I literally can't stop thinking about you, and I'm not sexually attracted to my partner, X, Y, Z. And I was like, look, I'm not getting into this. I'm not, I'm not doing this.
Yeah,
so I didn't, but I kept him on social media. Anyway, he went on to marry this girl. He went on to marry her, and they are married to this day. And I think, why do men do that? Like,
do what?
Why do they marry the woman that they don't want or not sexually attracted to? Why? I don't get that, because I know a few people that have said they're not happy with not from my perspective, from friends, not happy with the girl, and they've gone on to marry them.
Well, let's say happy with the girl. Do you mean they're not attracted to her?
Not attracted to them, yeah.
Because men don't choose a wife because of how she looks. He chooses for other qualities.
Okay.
Men will choose a girlfriend
So bad.
based on how. Well, is it though?
Yeah, but I would be
What he did wasn't
devastated
okay. Obviously,
if
that's
my
not okay.
partner was messaging other women saying he wasn't sexually attracted to me, didn't enjoy the sex. Like,
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
yeah.
If he's saying like he didn't enjoy the sex, that's pretty bad. And he shouldn't be telling you that, but I reckon he might be saying that just because he might be seeing if he can indulge in that with you.
Finesse me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If he can indulge in that with you. Because the truth is, when it comes to like serious commitment and marriage, like guys will compromise on looks if she has other qualities in spades. So if she's quite nurturing, if she's a place of peace for him, if she's a really good support for him, she may not be the best looking girl he's ever been with, but he will choose her for those qualities.
Yeah.
Though it can happen where if a guy has been with a girl that he's found very attractive and it just didn't work out because you guys weren't in the same place, you weren't compatible, it can happen where he like reminisces and he's like, I remember like the chemistry with Shanice was so good and we had so much fun back then and stuff. Maybe before I get married, I can just have one quick time with her or something. And it could have been that.
Yeah.
It could have been that.
One last time.
Yeah, 100%. Have you ever reached out to a guy that you dated before?
Yeah.
Yeah, why?
Because I still fancy them.
Did you end things or did he end things?
He ended things, yeah.
And you reached out to him?
Yeah, I reached out to him.
What made you?
I'm not shy. I'm not shy with things like that. I'm still in contact with, a few people from my past, and you probably shouldn't because it's really unhealthy, but I still have a good relationship with a couple of my exes. So, but I don't meet them. I don't,
Yeah.
don't do anything like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm quite open to reach out and being like in contact with people from my past.
Okay. And what do you say? What do you say?
Like, hey.
You're just like, hey.
Hey, how are you? Yeah.
And
how you been?
And what makes you, why do you reach out to them then? Like, what is it? Is it that you see something on Instagram? Is it that you've been wanting to reach out to them for a while and you're just like, okay, I'm just going to do it? Like, what makes you do that?
There's a couple of people that have been in my life that just like live rent free in my head. Like, they're just like the ones that got away.
Okay.
And when I say a couple of people, it is a couple of people because it's not just one person.
What is it about them that you just are drawn
everything.
to?
Just like, the chemistry, the fun factor. Just, I think if I was in a different place in my life when we met, or they were in a different place in, when we met, and, things could be very different,
I get that. So let me ask you a question. Let's say you meet a good guy.
Mm-hmm.
He's not the most attractive guy.
Yeah.
But like he's somewhat attractive. They're okay, I'm going to give this a chance. Let me widen my net.
Yeah.
And
I know what you're going to say.
Then he, through personality and everything, you became more attracted to him. And then you have this great relationship and then you get engaged. And then one of the ones that got away slides back into your DMs, just like how that guy slid into your DMs. It's just like, I've been thinking about you. Mm-hmm. I'm not as attracted to my partner as I was to you. How would you handle that situation?
Yeah, I'm very loyal when I'm with someone. And if I was genuinely happy with that person, I would be with them for a reason. Like, I wouldn't be with anyone if I weren't happy. Obviously, sometimes we do for a little bit and then we get out. But I wouldn't entertain anyone else while I'm with someone ever. Like, that's just not who I am.
Would you stay connected to the guys that live rent-free in your head?
Not if I was engaged, not if I was serious with someone. I wouldn't be talking to someone if I'm in a relationship, put it that way. But if someone reached out to me and said, oh, just checking in, you're okay, I'd be like, yeah, I hope you are too, kind of thing.
Yeah, sure.
But yeah, no, when I was with my ex, I did not literally engage in any sort of friendships, replies, nothing at all with anyone who was male.
Yeah.
I wasn't allowed, even if it was just a friend,
Okay.
But I wouldn't, I wouldn't, I'd never cheat, put it that way.
Yeah.
I think there just comes a point as well where you do have to cut off people from your past.
I agree.
And yeah, I mean, I know with the person who I'm like thinking of, we joke around. We say, oh, you know, if we're both single when we're like 35, like then maybe we'll end, you know, it's one of those, but you know, we're probably too.
Is he with someone?
No, probably too similar, both of us.
So how come, wait, so are you single?
Yes.
So you're both single?
Yep.
But you're not choosing each other. Why?
Because both live in different countries and
okay.
Yeah,
okay. Circumstantial. Yeah, that makes sense.
It's not deep, but when I say one that got away, if I met someone who had that exact same kind of everything that I had, I mean, and it worked, I'd be way off the market, you know? It's just because I'm not getting that with anyone else. And that's like, why am I not getting that?
Do you think this other guy is playing the field?
Oh yeah. Definitely.
Would you be in a long distance relationship with him where you're not exclusive? Because he would probably take that. He would probably take that.
Yeah, I don't know. I get very jealous when I fall in love. At the beginning, no. But I think I'm kind of like, sometimes I think, oh, I could be quite open-minded. And then other times I look back at my past relationships and think, hell no. Absolutely not. I would have killed a bitch.
I get that for sure.
So I'm like, where I've been on my own for so long, I am quite like open-minded. And I think, no, like, don't be so serious. Like, just, you know, chill and, you know. But then actually, I'm not sure how I would play it if I started getting proper feelings, you know. Yeah.
No, I hear that. What's something else you wanted to ask? Let's go on the list.
Okay, on the list. Okay, so this is one that quite a few people have asked me about. Yep. And I work in the beauty industry, so I get a lot of girls come to me saying this has happened to them.
Yeah.
They've had a guy who has chased them for a long, long period of time. They have not given up. And eventually the girl has caved and been like, why not? You know, I'm single. Why not? You're not a bad catch. You know, let's go. So they go on the day, probably have I don't know, everyone's different, but everyone said a couple of dates or something. And then eventually they end up getting intimate. Then the guy goes to them. And they're like, why? Like, why has that happened? Why wouldn't a man just tell the woman straight up, I'm just looking for fun. I just want a bit of fun.
Why do you think he doesn't say that?
Well, because he thinks she's not going to go ahead with it. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. But I do think...
doesn't make it okay.
For myself, my own personal opinion.
Yep.
I think men should be more forthright because actually it's more attractive. If a man says to you, I just want to have a bit of fun with you, initially your first reply would be like, no.
Yeah.
But then you can think about it and you can decide, actually, are you the kind of person that I would really want to be with anyway? Are you the kind of person I would marry? Are you, you know, and a woman can make a decision off her own back where if you're tricked into the situation, I think that's so wrong.
So I agree. A guy shouldn't lie about it and he shouldn't deceive the girl about it. I completely agree with you. But the whole thing of if a guy just goes up to a girl and just say, hey, I just want to have a bit of fun with you. Even if the girl's not looking for anything serious, even if she's in a place in herself where she's open to just having something casual, she's going to be insulted by that.
Yeah, but I mean, not straight away. I mean, go on a date and then make your feelings clear. I think what men tend to do sometimes is go on a couple of dates with you and then they start the love bombing phase and then they start like love bombing you and then you're kind of thinking potentially this might be my guy. And then you know you think, right, I'm gonna eventually get intimate with them, and you do. And then
so sometimes what can happen, there's a couple of things that can happen at this point. So let me address the first thing of a guy trying it with a girl for years.
Yeah.
And then she finally caves, then they're intimate, and then he kind of goes. So with that, it could be that one, he wasn't in love with her, he was in love with the idea of her. And sometimes, and this happens where women will fall in love with the idea of the guy, right? And if he's in love with the idea of her, then once he has her in reality, it's like, because he's painted this whole image of her in his head that isn't real. It's a fantasy. And of course, no one's perfect. So then when he has her and realizes, oh, this is not the fantasy picture that I painted in my head, he's no longer infatuated with her.
That makes a lot of sense.
And then the other thing could be, and this isn't nice either, but it can be something that guys can do, is that if he's been trying for so long, essentially what that means is that she's been rejecting him for so long. And then when she finally caves in and he then has sex with her and then kind of goes, that's him now rejecting her.
Yeah, so that has happened to me once. And I was like, are you for real?
Yeah.
I didn't reach out to him. I left it. Like, It was over a period of time. It wasn't just like a couple of dates and goes.
Of course.
But it was still really insulting. And I was like, that's never happened to me before. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah. And it's interesting because it could be a thing of they're doing it so you know how they felt for so long. It could be a thing of now, you know, him feeling like he's taking the power. Like before you've had the power because I was coming after you. Now we've had sex. I've got what I want. Now you want something from me and now I'm rejecting you. So now if you want this, you have to pine after me. It could be that as well.
That's how it felt.
Yeah.
It
that
felt
happens.
like, you know, I'm a catch. You know, I'm good looking. Like,
it has, I don't know if I should say this, depending on who wants this. It's definitely happened for me, if I'm being honest, where
what, the roles of reverse? Like,
so where, for example, maybe like there was a girl who I was into in like my 19, 20, 21, 22, and she wasn't feeling me, which is fair enough. And then as, you know, my career like took off and things were going well, she's kind of just slid back into my life. And she's like, hey, what you doing? Blah, blah. And that's happened with a few girls. And I'm like, nah. I'm like, now because we all have two sides, right? The devil on my shoulder was like, yeah, bro, just have fun with them and then just dip.
Yeah.
And the angel on my shoulder was just like, yeah, but then they're going to think this of you. Is that good for your energy? I was like, nah. So I didn't play it that way. But I was in a position where that was tempting. You could
take that choice.
Because I was like, okay, cool. Like you didn't want me before and now you want me now?
Yeah, no, I get
you're not going
to
get me now when you said no to me before, because it's like, well, and sometimes guys can do that and it's not okay, but it happens.
Oh yeah, no, I get that 100%. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? What's something else you want to go through?
So I get them up. Well, we've gone through some of these already.
Great. And then I've got one for you.
Yep, gone through that. We've just kind of done it, like going through it.
Great, we love that. All right, let me ask you something. You've got something there?
No, you asked me.
Yep, okay. What's a desire you think women have that men struggle to accept?
Desire? Do you mean like sexually?
Not necessarily sexually, but as in what's something that you think women want that men have a hard time accepting, like, okay, this is something that she wants?
I think women want unconditional love. And I think men can't they can't always get there. There's a percentage of men that are very emotionally intelligent, and there's a lot of men that aren't. For whatever reasons, could be their childhood, how they were treated, maybe they were neglected or a parent died. And for that reason, it really affects them when they're older.
Yeah.
And I think if we kind of like got a hold of that quite at a good age, a lot of men would be fine. But, you know, like suicide rate is really high for men. Because I think they can't talk about their emotions. And I think women are a little bit too lovey-dovey sometimes.
Interesting. So I think there is this notion of that the reason men are, you know, kind of ending their own lives is because they can't talk about their emotions. But I actually think the main reason is something different. And because there's been studies that show that a lot of like a big portion of men who end up, you know, deleting their own life, they didn't have any history of mental health issues.
Really?
And actually, it's actually what they've done is they've come to a logical conclusion that my life is no longer worth living.
Yeah.
It's not because there was like mental health issues. It's not because, you know, they were necessarily kind of emotionally abused or anything. It was like, okay, this is terrible in my life. This is terrible. This is terrible. I don't see a way out. So the logical reason is to stop playing the game.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
There's just so much pressure on men.
Yeah, because they're women like you that they want. They're like, well, he has to be able to pay for everything.
Don't put that on me.
No. But I agree though, because the thing is, women have elevated themselves, but we don't live in a day and age where the average income can support a family of 4.
No, exactly.
Most households need 2 incomes.
Yeah.
But a lot of men would say the expectation from women hasn't changed. Like most women aren't looking for a guy to go 50-50. And even if a woman earns more, she doesn't want to be taking on the majority of the financial burden. You still want the guy to do that.
Yeah.
So the expectations have stayed the same, but it's way harder for men to be that, which is why most men, like you said for yourself, like most men that you've dated and stuff can't and are not that. Does that make sense?
I mean, like when it comes to money, like I just need someone to just be like normal. They don't need to be rich or whatever. I will, like I say, look after myself. I'll pay the bills and have a roof over my head.
Yeah.
And in turn, they have a roof over their head.
Yeah, of course.
But what I not demand, but I expect in return is ultimate respect from a partner. You know, if you're not bringing certain things to the table, I expect you to respect the things that I want from a relationship, you know.
Do you think, sorry, go on.
There's certain things that are just like an absolute no-go for me, you know. If you haven't got money to put into the relationship, but then why are you going out every weekend taking drugs, you know? How are you affording to go to this, that and the other with friends, but you can't afford to pay your bills, you can't afford to pay your, you know, your tax on the car? Things like that are just a non-negotiable for me, and I start losing interest and I lose attraction.
I hear that, and I think that's completely fair, actually. Let me ask you a question. So if a man brings a lot to the relationship, do you think it's then reasonable for him to ask for certain things of a woman that she would not give to a lesser man?
Can you give me some examples?
Okay, so let's say, for example, let me see.
Do you mean materialistic or like love?
No, so let's say, because if he's successful in his own right, he's not going to be looking to you for materialistic things, right? So let's say, for example, let's say with a guy that you've dated before, let's say it was very much like, you know, it was like 50-50, like sometimes you take care of the house, sometimes he does, all of this stuff. And then let's say you date a guy who can provide for everything. Yeah. You know, has a lifestyle that's a league above yours, that he can bring you in, can take care of you. But now he's like, okay, well, because I'm bringing all this stuff, I expect you to stay in shape. I expect you to cook for me, and I expect you to take care of my home.
Okay. I've done all that whilst being the one that pays. So I do.
So do you think it's fair for him to expect that of a woman if he's bringing a lot into the relationship?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, don't get me wrong, I do get a bit lazy. I don't always I don't even go to the gym, to be fair.
Leave it honest.
But I would understand if I started looking like a monster that, you know.
I mean, yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
And that they would have wandering eyes, you know, because I know how men operate that are successful.
How do they operate?
They don't just have one woman. They have more than one woman.
It's not uncommon.
And, that's one thing that I think why I have ended up going for these more feminine men sometimes, because I've just thought, as long as I'm not cheated on and I'm in love and they love me and I'm respected. So I know where I've gone wrong, because I've tried to make different choices, but then it's also still not been right.
So let me ask, that's an interesting thing to stay on. So with these guys who are very successful and they do have multiple women, and it's like maybe they have a main girl and then they have side pieces,
a main girl.
Right? Side chicks, which happens. Do you think that that's, I would say unreasonable, but if they're bringing more than what the average guy brings, do you think then that is a unreasonable request?
Well, I mean, if we're just talking like someone who's just got like a normal kind of job, like your average, but if we're talking someone who's like earning...
Not just job though, but like, let's say he is tall, he is attractive, he is confident, he is intelligent, and he's successful. Not just the financial, because there are guys who are very financially well off, but they are like, I hate using this phrase, but they are the most like cuck beta guys you'd meet.
Yeah.
Right? Money doesn't mean leadership or
Yeah.
masculinity or, you know, like a top guy. Like, it's an aspect for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all those things.
Yeah, I don't condone cheating like in any shape or form. So
Not cheating. It's only cheating if he's lying about it.
yeah. Well, this is where I respect honesty.
Of course.
Someone tells me from the get-go, well, you know what? I'm not monogamous. I actually believe that you should have multiple partners, or, you know, that's my choice to make that decision. And I've been asked that before by guys, you know, I will have other girlfriends, you know, this will happen. I do this. And that's a choice that I can make. And, you know, I've not gone down that path. I think, because I'm not sure how I'd handle it. You know, I like to be number one when
you
I'm
could be
with a
number
man.
one. You're just not the only one. You're just not the only one. Do you think, using because your logic of, you know, well, if you bring more to the table, I'm going to ask for more.
Yeah.
Can you see why they would ask for more because they bring more?
Yeah.
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 I hear that.
I don't think it's unreasonable. That's like,
it's not for everyone. Sure. It's not for everyone. But
yeah, I can see why.
Do you think you could ever accept that? Like you meet your dream man. Like, he ticks all the boxes in that sense. He makes you feel safe, makes you feel seen, makes you feel heard. But he's like, babe, I may have other women.
I don't know if I could. It's
a hard question.
It's not a flat yes or no.
Sure.
But I think, not that I would need another person, but why would you get to go and do that when I'm stuck at home thinking, where are you? What are you doing? You know?
Well, his argument would be, well, because I bring A, B, C, and D to the relationship, which is the logic that you said.
I think people actually get a little bit sick when they're in relationships sometimes, if you're not in the right relationship, and you kind of think, oh, I just want to get out. I'm bored. I've just had enough. And I think that's why a lot of people stick in their relationships where they know their partner's cheating, because they're just happy to get the benefits, but they're going off getting their stuff with someone else, and you don't have to give them all the attention or the affection, and you're not on their case. And, you know, I see it in my industry, you know. Yeah,
I think, well, first I'd say, if getting bored in relationships is actually really normal.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
If you are bored in your relationship, that probably means you're in a great relationship, because terrible relationships are toxic, they're abusive, people are cheating left, right, and center, people are being physical, emotionally abusive, manipulative. So if the worst thing about your relationship is that you're a bit bored, you're in a great relationship, right? You're in a healthy, good relationship, especially if you're going to be with each other for longer than a decade. Do you know what I mean? I think in life, there's choices and trade-offs. Like, no one's perfect, right? So you have to choose, okay, what is a priority for you? So, for example, something I'll say to guys is, they might look at a girl like you and be like, oh, I want to be with a girl like Shanice. You know, she's attractive, does all this stuff, blah, blah, blah. But then I don't want her to have social media. I don't want her to be showing off her body and all this stuff. And it's like, well, if we're being honest, bro, if you have a woman who very much takes care of herself physically and aesthetically, she's going to want to show that off. Yeah. A lot of the time, that's what comes with it. So you have to decide, is being with that woman more important? Are you willing to accept what comes with that? Yeah. And so when it comes to these kind of guys who are tall, attractive, successful, all of this stuff, it's like, can you accept what comes with being with that kind of man?
Yeah. It's funny you say that, actually, because it has actually been like a running trend issue on my Instagram. Okay. Yeah. And how vocal I am. I love telling people about my life, what's happened, this, that, and the other. I've always been the same. And I've been with guys that have tried to suppress me and stop me from being that person. And I have, like, times I've not posted for months, you know. I definitely changed my style of photos anyway. Like, I used to post lingerie. I don't do that no more. The most I'll do is bikini, and that's it.
I mean, that's pretty much the same.
Everyone does a bikini.
That's pretty much the same, though.
I know, but lingerie
it's just different material, but it's the same areas.
It's a bit sexier, isn't it? Like lingerie. Yeah. But there was rules when I was in relationships, and that's fine. I'm happy with that. I'd understand that from a husband. But what people don't understand is social media is how I get business, you know, how people will see my social media page and they'll be like, oh, I like the way her lips are. I like the way she looks. Oh, let me check her work page out. And then I get clients from that way.
Yeah, but you'd have to be in a bikini to show that.
No, you don't. You don't. But
Come on,
I mean,
Shanice, let's be real.
if I've been like looking good, I want to show it off. Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying.
I want to show it off, you know.
But it's very true, because while you're right, being very much showing everything like that on social media can bring opportunities.
Yeah, it does.
It can also bring admirers, which I'm sure it does, right, of other guys. And of course, when guys are taking a woman seriously, they're quite territorial, right? If a guy is not taking you seriously, you post whatever you want, because he's just there to have fun, right? But if he's taking you seriously, he's like, this is potentially going to be my wife, because the way men and women get the other sex is different. Men pursue, but women advertise.
Yeah.
So when you're on Instagram and you're showing off your bikini or lingerie and stuff, you're advertising to the world your profession, but also you're advertising to men that maybe you know, you're advertising your sexuality, that maybe you're available. And for guys who are probably quite masculine, they just don't like that.
No, I agree. But I've always made it very, very clear.
Sure.
If I am with someone and we are committed, serious, that would all stop.
Would you?
I would post a different kind of content and they would be on my page, even in my bio if they want to. Do you know what I mean? Like, I will show my man off like all day, every day.
Yeah.
But it has been an issue because maybe they thought that, you know, get to that stage of seriousness.
So let me ask you a question. You're dating this guy. It's been like 3-4 months. Things are going really well. And he's that guy for you, right? You're like, ticks a lot of boxes. I like where it's going, how it's building. And you're like, you want to have the conversation of, you know, I like you. I want us to be exclusive because I see a future. Yeah. And he's like, yeah, I see that too. However, for us to now be serious, you have to change your social media. Would you do it for the relationship?
I would.
Before becoming serious?
Well, the second he kind of expressed his concern, I would find out what is the real concern.
Sure.
Is it the fact that I've got men on there? Is it my content? If they're trying to dull me down and suppress me by just speaking out about my day and things like that on my stories, because I've had that, you know.
Okay. Yeah, that's a bit much, actually.
I'm quite cringy.
I think that should
and
be
stuff
a problem.
like that. And then I would not stand for that at all.
Yeah, I think general posting is fine. I think it's just like, you know, for those guys, it's kind of the whole kind of any kind of photos where you can very easily be sexualized.
Yeah.
Would you sacrifice that before getting into the seriousness with him?
Definitely.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest. I'm sure a lot of women would say the same thing to you. If you post a nice photo of you all covered up, you're going to get like however many likes. You post something showing a bit of skin, get loads of likes. Loads more people see it. Loads more people comment. It keeps your social media going. The algorithm is just not very good anymore.
I hear that, but I think it's different for men because generally speaking, even if a girl finds a guy really attractive online, most women are not sliding into his DMs.
Yeah.
But guys are sliding into girls' DMs. Because what we'll do is a woman will, maybe she'll like a bunch of his photos to try and encourage him to message her.
Yeah.
But she won't directly message him. Most women don't do that, right? And if they're doing that with a guy, it's because he's like a superstar. And it's because he's really successful. Some guys who are like crazy attractive, sure, it happens. But that's very rare. I would honestly say it's less than 1% of men that are super attractive that women just message them.
I've messaged guys before.
But out of 1 in 100, were they 1 in 100 men?
They're very attractive.
There you go. There you go. Listen, Shanice, we're gonna end it there. But thank you for coming on. We appreciate your energy. If people want to find you, where can they find you?
On Instagram, Sky Bethany.
Sky Bethany. Yeah. Okay. TikTok or anything?
Yeah, I've got TikTok as well. Yeah, the same, Sky Bethany.
Okay. Well, guys, go give her a follow. Go give her some love. You know, we appreciate you for coming on and sharing your energy with us.
Thank you.
So, guys, thank you for tuning in, and I will see you in the next episode.